Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you want to battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man!
Calm down. You're an hysteric.
That's from Comedian. Is that Dog Day Afternoon?
I don't know, but it seems Jimmy Norton on Mohr Stories. It seems like a lot of 70s movies or 70s in general. You either were having a spell, like she's just having a spell.
You're an hysteric. You texted that to me and I got it. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, what is that from? But I knew it. You said that.
I never pinpointed it. I just liked it as a phrase from like whenever guys had the bushy hair in the 70s, like, she's an hysteric.
You're an hysteric.
Calm down. You're an hysteric.
That's just, it's going to drive. For some reason, I was thinking Dog Day Afternoon, but maybe not. All the people I could call, he's going to call that fucking fat bitch wife of his. My favorite fucking movie character ever. He says, get on the ride, you fat pig. Is he going to throw me in the... Like, this guy's fucking... He's in a homosexual bank robbery, and this fat fuck horrible wife makes it about herself. He just wanted her shot.
There's like 3 kids running around that stupid 70s TV.
You suddenly got why he was fucking Leon. You understood it immediately.
Well, I don't know, but I know why he was robbing the bank then.
Yeah,
I don't know
Leon
about
the operation.
Yeah. You're killing everyone around you, Leon.
Oh, that fucking greatest his robe.
That's the impression you like of mine the most, is when I do Chris Sarandon in Dog Day Afternoon, because instinctively I always went to the robe.
Yeah, you have to.
And you were always like, oh, and you said exactly that. Like, we were having breakfast once, I remember. It is like, Sidney Lumet is the guy, when people go like, name 3 directors, 3 movies in a row, like, Lumet's never even in the discussion.
Yeah, and although one of my favorite movies he ever did was Q&A with Nick Nolte and Armand Assante, and he threw his daughter into it.
Timmy Hutton.
Yeah, he was really good.
Cutie pie.
You put your finger in my face again, I'll take it off and shove it up your ass. Good, you weren't miscast. And I didn't like his daughter in that either. Although I walked by one of those buildings, the original, there was a scene where Timothy Hutton pulls in to talk to Nancy Bosch, and it's raining outside, and she runs into her apartment. That's right by my apartment. I walk by that fucking 4 times a week and think of that movie.
I know. It's a terrible movie, but it may be one of the better mustaches in a movie ever.
It's Nick, and who didn't want to fuck? His name's Michael, like yours. I wanted to fuck every tranny in that club. And Chips Cooney is playing the drums. When they walk in, you hear tiptoe through the tulips. And Chips is on fucking...
Really?
Yeah, Chips Cooney's on drums.
And Otto's on stage?
Yeah.
Sugar!
Jimmy, we have an Amazon ad. People go to jmohr.com, you click the Amazon banner, and I saved this one. I was going to read it yesterday, or last week, I should say. But I saved this one for you because I thought you would like this one. This is from our friend Scott Henley in Madison, New Hampshire.
Sure.
JJ, huge fan of the podcast. I love when you share stories about your kids because I'm also a father of 2 young boys. I just hit up the Amazon link at jmohr.com and made a purchase for my 9-year-old son. I picked up a Leatherman Juice CS4 multi-tool complete with a saw blade and a straight knife. We live in the woods of New Hampshire, and he wants to whittle some wood into what I don't know. I mean, what could possibly go wrong by giving 9-year-olds several sharp objects conveniently packaged into one handy tool? Keep them coming, JJ. Happy to do my part to support more stories. Love, Scott Henley, Madison, New Hampshire.
What was that thing he just said?
What?
What did he just say there? I don't understand it.
He bought a giant saw for his 9-year-old to help him whittle wood.
That was just a statement he was telling you?
Yeah, but
good for him.
I like how he quantified it like, hey, what could go wrong? No, he's 9. You bought him a fucking saw, you maniac.
Absolutely. Well, maybe he was kidding when he said what could go wrong. Or maybe he was actually being serious. You hope he was being serious.
What if he's so serious, like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Nothing go wrong.
Like, I see you're going to have a problem with this and don't.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott Henley. You're a good man. Jimmy, are you in town? You did Leno recently.
Yeah, I did it The second, like a little over a week ago, and
Pro, look at you.
it was fun. It was. I was happy with the outcome. I always get nervous doing that shit. Like it's
Why? But you're like a regular.
Yeah, but I don't do panel that much. I just I did it last year. I mean, I probably could do it more, but only when I have stuff to promote do I try to get it.
You did it with Keira Knightley.
Oh, years ago. Last time I did it was.
You just said years ago. So why still the anxiety over it?
Well, just because again, you know, from time to you don't know how it's going to go. The last time I did it was fucking. They wanted to put me on a big episode, so I got promotion. So they put me on with Justin Bieber and Mila Kunis, and I'm like, I didn't want to do it with Justin Bieber because I'm like, we don't have the same audience. They're going to fucking hate my guts. And they're like, no, it'll be fine. They're all adults. And so I get there, and Ross goes, wow, man, they were all girls. They're all camped out all night. I'm like, oh fuck. So I go, and Justin's just singing at the end. Mila Kunis is the lead guest. And I go out and I start talking and I say something about a happy ending. And my opening joke was about a happy ending that I had to provide for myself. Silence. And I was like, oh, fuck. But Mila was really great. And I wound up.
He was smiling at the end. I do a terrible Chip.
Yeah, they fucking stared at me like whatever, you know. I wound up turning into okay, but she was great. I'll always like her for that because she was like fun and playful, and like I think she kind of saw that could have went terribly, but it turned out okay. But that was almost a disaster in the making. So it's all who you get on with. I don't want to be on with Justin Bieber because his audience is just too different.
I was on with Justin Bieber, and I wanted to be on with Justin Bieber just because I wanted his Twitter followers. So I had to take a picture. Like I cornered him. Like, you got to tweet that you and I are standing here, and he's like, "All right." I'm like, "No, you're not leaving until this happens."
Did he tweet it?
He wrote, "With my dude backstage." And then I get and then I'm realizing, what, did I just pick up 5,000 14-year-old girls?
Yeah. Yay! I Twittered.
Uncle Paul!
Yay! Lucky dog.
Uncle Paul sounds almost exactly like Joe DeRosa. Is that on purpose?
No. I think Uncle Paul came.
You know what?
Oh, it's funny. No, not at all. I would model nothing after DeRosa unless I was making a fucking big ragu from Laverne and Shirley doll.
DeRosa, the warden from Midnight Express.
He's just the worst.
If the warden from Midnight Express was not in such great shape,
he's like
Billy Hayes.
He's like a fucking. I like DeRosa as a person, but he looks like a match. I despise him physically.
A match?
Yeah, just a straight awful thing with a fucking shitty head. I loathe you. Get off my phone, Joe.
Anything I can do for your mama, Mr. DeRosa? Stay out of her purse.
He's a fool.
What were you promoting on the Tonight Show?
This time it was recently. It's the same thing I'm promoting now. It's his American Degenerate. It's my next stand-up special. Comes out August 23rd on Epix and epixhd.com.
Last time we spoke, I was in your hotel room in Hollywood, and you had that. Take it. Please be offended.
That was last year, yeah.
Yeah, like you just keep churning it out. How do you keep coming up with material?
I had a really good year with it. It's weird. Like usually it's like a year, but I shot this one 10 months after Please Be Offended. I had just had a really good run of shit that happened. Like as far as I'm on at the cellar every night, so it's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like there was the school shootings. There was not. I don't mean that like. That kind of came out like
really good bunch of stuff happened.
No, but I mean like you know how when something happens and you go up. And you just start talking about it, and all of a sudden there's something, and you can, and then it was fucking Casey Anthony. I realized that came out horribly. But after I shot this, I was stuck for a while. After I shot American Degenerate. I'm like, I had nothing new, so I was just doing dick jokes. And then fucking, it was Paula Deen or one other thing happened, and I went to Noam's son. From the cellar had a bris, and I went on stage and just started talking about it because it really violated me. Like, it fucked me up when I saw it. And then that kind of sparked new material. So it was like a great year for that last year with like all this shit in the news and, but that's normally 10 months is a little sooner than I'd have it.
Now, the bris, the Jewish people that circumcise their kids.
Yeah.
But they do it actually in front of everybody.
In the house, yeah. And it really...
That can't be that sterile with the fucking cats jumping around.
Yeah. You're going to fucking push the lasagna over?
You hear just a little scratching in the box. Like, he's all right.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable to watch, and it was a guttural. And again, I know that I'm it's like I know that people do it. I'm clipped, as we say. And I didn't
ribbed for my pleasure.
Yeah,
one big rib.
I didn't think of less of Noam for it. I was just because again, I might do the same thing if I had a son.
A bris?
Yeah, no, circumcise him. I'm not Jewish.
What is it about yet?
No.
Yet.
Yeah, if I meet the right girl.
3 shows I walk. You're not in a position to walk. Yet. It is. So you would circumcise your son?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
How is that even an like a wishy-washy thing for you?
Because I like to say, the part of me that is against it would like to say, yeah, I would definitely not. But I've just never been in that position, so I don't know. So it's easy to say because I don't have a kid. I don't know how I'd react with a kid to anything. Like a part of me is like, well, I wouldn't because I think you're hurting them. And then I'm a doctor may go, no. These are the stats on fucking penile cancer. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think you're fucking Sniffy McGee over here.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Jesus Christ.
It's a disaster.
What are you allergic to words? Jesus Christ, this guy. I 2 different sons, 2 different circumcisions. One, I dropped them off, and they just kind of like I waited in the room. They wouldn't let me in, and then just handed them back. Like
how long did it take?
Minutes, not even.
Yeah, this took a long time.
Look at the Baruch Atah.
Oh.
The Jews drew something out.
The guy from Amazon walks in with the knife tool.
What? You want to work that one out? Put some cones down?
The Amazon guy.
The Amazon ad.
There you go.
The guy from New Hampshire comes in with that big saw, the CS4.
Oh, yeah.
That's what his kid was working on. Yeah,
I know,
circumcision.
just had stutter starting the lawnmower. Hey. The guy with the tool.
Great.
So my 10-year-old, I dropped him off at the doctor's office, and they just kind of handed him back like in 3 minutes. And then my 2-year-old, I was in there. It was UCLA. It was a guy that does brisses. And he goes, I would really like it if you were in the room. And I'm like, all right, sure. Yeah. So I just sit up here by the head, and you put a big curtain up so I don't see. And he goes, no. And like it is like it's kind of like the eye in Clockwork Orange, like just that type of metal shit, holding everything open. And the kid freaks out, and then you got to put like Neosporin on it. But look, I've written this before, and I'll say it. If it's that traumatic, we wouldn't want people to touch it all the time. Like I got a bunion surgery on my foot. I don't let people look at my foot or fucking go near it. But yet, we lead with our dicks, whether they're circumcised or not. Obviously, it's not that traumatic to us.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like. I think it'd be easier. And again, just a guess to fucking would probably feel better if your dick was protected. Just to have that greasy skin sliding over it, like somebody fucking rubbing little Munster cheese over your fucking helmet in a nice velvety fist.
If you get me really excited, I will unsheath it.
Yeah, unsheath. Yeah, it's a great word. Peel it back.
Well, you see, guys, like 70% hard, and it just doesn't quite. The turtle doesn't quite come all the way out of the shell.
Yeah, it looks like that cartoon, that fucking fat-headed thing poking over the fence.
Kilroy was there.
Yeah, Kilroy, right?
Exactly, Bazooka Joe in the pants. But you are circumcised. I thought a guy that was circumcised would just be like, yeah, of course I'll circumcise my kid.
No, I don't know. Just don't know.
How about your daughter? Circumcised?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to keep her from being a whore.
So the new special, I didn't even know this was happening. What is it called?
American Degenerate.
Jeez Louise. Was it you that was telling me? I just want to write this down so when I don't have to ask you 50 times like I did last time we did the podcast. And it's American Degenerate.
Yeah, August 23rd.
That's my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And you like this company that you're doing it with.
They're great. Epix is phenomenal. They're really weird. Like when you're being a creative person or whatever, they don't breathe down your neck. They're not obsessive. They just they vet stuff to make sure you're not going to get sued. Like you can't, they're not idiots, but they're completely hands off. They love the fact that I'm promoting it. They promote me. Like they're great. They're the best people I've ever done business with.
And you make money.
I made money. Yeah, this one I absolutely own. I outright own it. And they're cool with it going on Netflix. And like they want to build their brand up. And they're owned by movie studios like Viacom, so they get like all the big movies before anybody else gets them.
I was going to come to you off the record. I was going to tell you I might want to do a special. What could you talk off the record, Jake? Jake, off the record.
I would say, do it with Epix. I can't do Jake, and I can't tie in Bet Everything You Had with Epix.
I would say I'm going to open their holes like this.
Yeah. I'm going to make Viacom wish they never had them. Okay?
That'd be a great fucking sketch. Just try to sandwich shit where it doesn't fit.
Yeah, just try to put in fucking product names with Raging Bull
I'll tell you what,
quotes.
Paramount. I'll put you and Viacom in a fucking ring. Let you beat each other, fuck each other. I don't want to get blood on my studio.
Yeah. I'll get blood all over my logo. Hey, you used to that.
Drink up, Jake. It's back in participation. On the net of the gross. Come on, Jake. No, Vicky. So yeah, Epic. All right, cool, good to know.
Yeah,
Epix,
I like
you
them a
really
lot.
don't. You were fired up about it when I was in your hotel room doing the first time you were on the podcast, and you were like, "These guys are great. Like they're changing the game." And then the fact that you jumped right back in with them.
Yeah, I mean, they're the people I wanted to work with. It's like Louis did one with them, and Louis Black has done shit with them, and Kevin Smith before I did it. So I was like, I kind of wanted to when they wanted to do the first one with me. I was like, yeah, of course, because they got a good fucking track record.
How did you square it with yourself, Black Sabbath fan Jimmy Norton, Lil Jimmy Norton? It's the fact that Sabbath stuck it to Bill Ward the way they did.
I don't feel like they did. I mean,
Really?
no, I mean, and I love
Ooh.
Bill. But it was one of those things where the contract shit broke down. And Ozzy said in an interview, and again, Bill might say something differently, that they felt Bill just couldn't play. And I'm not saying, I don't know what the whole thing, because Bill's like, I was playing fine. But they said, no, he was just having trouble keeping up with it. And as a fan, I would love Bill to be there because I love Bill and I love the band together.
They did pretty good for a replacement.
The fucking Brad Wilk and
John Bonham's Bones.
He's amazing, that guy. The album's a fucking masterpiece, dude. It's like
Really?
It's a fucking masterpiece. It's one of the greatest things I've ever heard. I'm not being a biased Sabbath fan. Like if I hated it, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I love it. I can't believe how much I love this album.
Really?
Even though they're not touring with Brad, they're touring with Tommy Clufetos, who's Ozzy's road drummer, and he's a fucking savage. They're great. Hopefully, Bill, they want to do something else. I would love to see Bill participate in the next album just because I love him.
Mrs. Florentine was here, and she never mentioned anything about the fucking not being able to play.
That was what Ozzy said
Jimmy
in an interview.
Florentine said, his whole life, they only gave him like 5% of the whole band.
Oh, really?
They split it like 25, 25, 25. You get 5. And then he finally said, I'm not doing it unless we split this equal. As he would say, unless you split it equally 4 ways,
Well,
That's what Jim Florentine would say. And then they fucking told him. They said, yeah, we'll fucking do it. To split it fucking evenly. And then, when it came time to do the contract, they're like, here's your fucking 5%. He said, fuck you, I'm not going. They're performing a block from my house. It fucking pains me.
What am I going to do, not go? It's like, what's the problem?
Fuck it, they get the guy, but it sounds good. Eddie Trunk, it was his birthday the other day.
His hands crying. I did Florentine's. That's good on a podcast. I do Florentine's hand. So no, I don't know what the money split was, to be very honest with you.
You're like friends with Ozzy.
Yeah,
You're friendly with Ozzy.
I know Sharon better.
I've heard of Ozzy.
I'm going to dinner with them on Thursday. It's my first time eating with them, which I'm very happy about.
Well, they probably use silverware. You can take the angst out. You said that I don't know how these people behave.
Well, I'm very happy.
Day and age.
Oh yeah, fucking.
What's wrong with you, Henry? The Osbournes. What kind of people are these? They eat with their hands. They're going to serve bats. They're like, you've been away a long time. We don't need bats no more, Jimmy. Maybe you've been away too long. Oh, right away. Getting fucking fresh with the bats.
I'm looking forward to it a great deal.
Do you know, and enlighten me, did they always stiff Bill Ward contractually?
I have no idea. I've never heard that before. In all honesty, I've never heard that.
How does Florentine get the scoop? Because I'm on the metal show.
Oh, maybe they did. Or maybe
I'm on the metal show all the time.
I know this. It's hard for me to feel.
Sound like Chip Chipperson.
Yeah, whatever. It's hard for me to feel any way about it because they fired. I came right back out of it. They fired Ozzy. People forget that, and I understand that Bill being taken off the website was Bill's request, not Sabbath. They didn't kick him off the website. He wanted his image taken off the site, and they fired Ozzy in 1979. So
they should have fired him in '69.
They fired him. What? They just put water on him if he's on fire. I don't want to just kill the whole show with fucking laughs.
Do it, Chip. Matty boy needs to see some.
Matty, how come you're not laying on the floor? Fucking double guns.
Chip, are you going out with Pearl Jam again this year?
Yeah, they was asking me to open for them, but I'm like, fuck that.
Why?
Crowds are too small.
Huh?
Fuck that.
The crowds are too small?
Yeah.
What do you mean they're too small? It's like 50,000 people, and Eddie Vedder loves you.
Yeah, I know. He fucking likes these things. That song, what's that, Jeremy or something? I'm like,
you want to talk to him?
Who's that guy? Jeremy, what's he do? How come the old lady's still working at the store? Why don't she retire? I was fucking had him cracking up.
Let's get Eddie to ask Chip a few questions because there's this beef can't stand between Chip and Eddie Vedder. Eddie, yes, sorry.
Chip, it's good to see you for starters. Let's just get this off on a good foot.
You're not Eddie. Here's the key to Chip. He'll always let you down.
No, that's where you're wrong. I don't know why any, like Bobby Kelly, you're like, I hate Chip. Like when I do Chip on Opie and Anthony, my day is made. The rest of the day. And the rest of the day I think like Chip. And I see somebody cross the street, I go, look at this cocksucker crossing the street with his fucking shorts on. Double guns.
It's the greatest weapon ever.
You're not Eddie.
Because people try to set Chip up for moments, and 10 times out of 10 he fails. Like there was one time I was on stage in Chicago. We were doing a live event, and I'm there, and we had a Chip off. People could do Chip, and so one guy came up. We were arguing as Chip, and he was killing Chip.
This is all your new stuff.
Yeah, I was up, and I'm fucking. I'm up there. And I'm arguing with him as Chip, and he's killing Chip. And then people are like, hey, you fucking schooled Chip. What the fuck? Like, people were mad. I'm like, hey, dumb motherfuckers. Chip stinks. He's not an anti-hero. It's not Alex from Clockwork. He's a douchebag.
He's not Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, or whatever. Bill from anywhere. Fucking, you got to get up pretty early.
Dabney Coleman.
I don't like him or nothing. He's got a nice mustache.
Yeah.
You ever seen 9 to 5?
He's working.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know.
Fucking good movie.
9 to 5 was?
Fuck yeah. Dolly Parton's got big tits like my mother.
Your mother, Dolores.
Yeah, voluptuous.
Now, is your mom still hanging out with the guys that help her work what is it with the floor?
They fix the floor all the time. I would walk in, a lot of times Lamar would be laying there with her fixing the floor. And he was just helping her. He had really big lips. My mother would say, put those soup coolers on my clit, Lamar.
What was wrong with the floor?
I guess it was like fucked up. He was always hammering stuff into it. And I'd be in the bushes and say, Chipper, get out of there. You're going to get juniper berries all over you.
Get out of the book. Wait, he was always hammering the floor with your mother laying on it?
Yeah, and I would just be standing in the bushes making sure everything was okay.
Oh, okay. And was everything okay?
I don't know.
People come up to me at shows and want to show me their Chip. I was at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, and this guy comes up and goes, double guns. Fucking meet and greet. The guy's, I'm like, are you going to buy a fucking T-shirt, Chipper? Or what? He goes, T-shirt. When you call it a fucking U-shirt or something.
That's fucking terrible. He should have said an L-shirt. Fucking place would have went nuts. Wrong letter, cocksucker.
Cocksucker.
Oh, yeah. Double fucking word jokes.
I don't know why anybody doesn't like Chip.
Chip is the great, and it makes me laugh on Twitter when I see TSSS, because it's just so much fun. I used to just do it to humiliate girlfriends. That was like where Chip came from. Like I would be at, like, it was humiliating to them. Like I would be in a cab with my girlfriend doing Chip jokes, and she would literally be digging her nails into me. Or we'd be in the restaurant and she'd order something. Like she'd be like, all right, I'll have a filet mignon, and then Chip just blurts out, how much is that? And she'd be like, that's so fucking humiliating because people think that I fuck you. Like, people think that, like, this awful guy, they don't know you're trying to be funny. So that was where it came from, is I saw that it had an effect. I saw that it really got in people's heads, too, and they couldn't get rid of it.
But why does Bobby and Colin not like it?
Colin loves it.
When I did Chip, I said the word Chip to Colin on this podcast, and he clutched his heart. He literally went, oh, and I thought, like, I lost him for a second.
No, he gets Chip. It's a visceral reaction, and Bobby loves Chip now. Like, Bobby's like says he hates Chip,
in
but
Montreal,
he loves Chip.
He said he hated him.
Loves Chip. A lot of
I
guys
like
hate
George
Chip.
Wallace. Come on, Montreal.
A lot of guys hate Chip but love him, and they hate Chip because he affects them. And it's an effect. It's like, oh.
I don't know how it affects them other than gold. I love this fucking guy.
I do too. People who really hate Chip just ignore him and don't acknowledge him. That's people who hate Chip.
You made your acting debut in 1975 in something scrumptiolescent. It was called Chip, a Chimp, but no rules. Chip, walk us through a day on the set of that movie.
I'm gonna riffle. I just got there and I was like, "Whatever, you gonna shoot me or something?" They're like, "We don't got no gun." God.
The chimp was played by a monkey named George.
You ever read Curious George?
All the time.
Fuck yeah, that yellow-hatted guy.
Yeah? I heard he started AIDS.
That's not true.
No, I heard that. It's a fact.
Oh.
Science.
Fucking home run more. I could do Chip all day, every day.
Well, don't ever think you're wearing him out here.
The only A fans love him and hate him because they do enjoy doing him. It's fun to do, like, because as comedians, we're trained to find the best joke always. As Chip, you find the fucking worst joke, and you rifle through the same options, and you hit people with the same speed that a comic hits with a good joke. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Is like you're firing out a joke with the same speed, but it's an absolute atrocity.
It's like being Birbiglia.
Oh, poor Mike.
Why?
You friends with him, right?
No, actually, I don't think I've
don't
ever
like
met
him?
the man.
Oh, he's fun.
I have no opinion whatsoever. I
Oh.
just have to pick a name. And that had a lot of syllables in it.
Yeah.
I figured the longer the name, the longer the joke goes.
Anything with two B's, fucking
Fucking
good.
Birbiglia.
Fuck yeah.
And Babalado. Fuck him.
Well, if you're picking a song, you go with Baba O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
What about Baba Bowie?
I don't like that show.
The Baba Bowie show.
Yeah, people would yell
I'm
at
doing
me.
Florentine.
I know. I didn't know that.
Fucking Ozzy, you know? It's going on the road with Billboard and Chip Chipperson. It's fucking crazy.
So come on, just give the guy his money. What's the problem?
With my hands like this
Yeah,
on the
come
fucking
on.
podcast.
I never I guess you did.
You ever watch him on stage?
You know? Like someone's going to spike your drink, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to rape you all of a sudden.
And he's also calling at a different register.
Yeah, like somebody's going to spike your drink. Like someone's going to spike your drink, you know? And Chip, like someone's going to spike your drink.
Yeah, or maybe they're going to fuse or MTV it. It's TV stuff.
GoDaddy.com. You know what? Of all the episodes to impress me with, this is the one. If you want to make a website for Lil Jimmy Norton, Chip Chipperson, you could do it at GoDaddy.com. We have a good contest going on. It's only $2.49 for the entire first year registration. Go to the GoDaddy banner at jmohr.com. Get your own piece of 21st century real estate or something.
Yeah.
With GoDaddy.com, and you could use it for other things. If you have like a flower shop or something, there's no reason not to have
Flowers. What kind of a guy's a fucking flower shop?
Yeah, you just buy flour in the store. Why would you go out and get your own website or something? You going to make a cake?
What if you have an allergy to flowers and you fucking bought it like an idiot?
A friend of mine used to have an allergy to flowers. We could never have them around the house.
Your mom had a lot. Your mom had a lot of flowers in the house.
She didn't have many flowers. No, she had a lot of friends. Delroy didn't like flowers.
Oh yeah.
No, he didn't like them at all. He would open and throw them out the window.
Why? That seems...
I don't know. He didn't like them at all. He'd think they bothered him.
Delroy didn't like flowers. What about Lamar? Did he like flowers?
I never asked him.
Why?
Well, I just didn't think of it.
Did you guys ever like?
You know who Lamar looked like? You ever see the Green Mile?
Yeah.
He looked like the John Coffey guy.
The big guy.
Yeah, and he would wear like overalls, and they'd always be around his ankles. My mother was trying to help him fix the strap.
Oh yeah. Jimmy's face. We're gonna have to put Chip up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got to do more with Chip. People want to animate him. There's so many things to do. I'm working on my website right now. Like I'm actually uploading.
What
photos
up the other one? I don't want to say the name in case it's a thing.
Oh, it's no, Eatable. It's gone. It's
Why?
gonna, Jim.
How does it go
I finally
away?
got JimNorton.com.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, there's a whole thing. Fun
Bill Ward's a
story.
fan drama. He just got old.
I got JimNorton.com, which will be up by the time this probably goes on.
GoDaddy.com, my friends. If you're thinking about starting a new website, if you're getting married, you want to have like photos of every table, seating arrangements on a website. You can use a website for anything. Maybe you can do my website or Yimmy's website with just our stand-up dates or just what we wore and days that you saw us. Weird stuff. Impress me. Share family news with relatives. I don't care what it is. I just know if you go to GoDaddy.com, they're going to hook you up. $2.49. Enter stories in the checkout box. When you get up there, make sure you enter stories. STORIES. jmohr.com. You click the GoDaddy banner. Here's the contest. The person with the best domain name / website / reason for it being in existence. First prize, you get a T-shirt. Second prize, 2 T-shirts. Third prize, I give you 6 T-shirts that come to your house and I suck your dick.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to
great
come in
third prize.
second.
Third prize is you're fired.
Third prize is you're fired. You think I'm messing with you? Some limitations apply. Please listen to my voice when I have something in it. Please see the website. Jesus. Please see the website for details, you guys. GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy.com. And make sure you enter Stories. STORIES. They're a cool sponsor, so reward them. Look how much I swear during this ad. That doesn't happen with other sponsors. And don't forget to go to jmore.com and click that Amazon banner, too. Those are the two things I'm hitting you guys over the head with. Now that I have a radio show, Little Jimmy, I get up at like 6 to be on the air at 9. But you guys on Opie and Anthony, you're on the air at 6, right?
Yeah, I get up at 5:35 every day.
You're that close
yes.
to the studio?
Yeah, I live 25 blocks from the studio, and Kenny's voice wakes me up. I have my alarm set, but I'll hear like, good morning, and I get out of bed at 5:35. I leave the house about 5:50, 5:55, walk in a couple minutes after 6. The music's playing. O&A will read the paper before. I don't even read the paper before. I'll just go in, sit down, because like those guys like to kind of talk in the first break about whatever they did last night or whatever. And I'll jump in when I want to, but I never prep for it. Unless it's an interview, then I'll prep for it.
But you're literally like one street shut down, like if they just shut off like 10th Avenue for 8 blocks, you suddenly are showing up to work 40 minutes late.
Nah, for me, Anthony, it's a big deal because he comes from Long Island.
What
for
a
me,
fucking Guido.
Oh, he really is.
That is the most Italian shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, I'm coming all the way in from Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. He was late because his Drac car spilled. Fucking fool.
There was a Jacquard Noir spill on the Long Island Expressway. Did you get one of those abortions?
He could get fucking. But me, we're just going on the way. Go down 7th Avenue, go down Broadway. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to make it close. I've never. I mean, I walk in late once in a while. Very rarely. Very, very rarely.
I have a whole new appreciation. I mean, I've always had an appreciation for like morning radio, and you guys have always been my close friends, especially in like media. It's you guys are at the top, and everybody else is just second place. You can't even see with a binoculars or something.
Yeah, binoculars.
They should have fucking 3 of them. Fuck everyone up. They don't know what the fuck to call
That's
it.
a great spray for your breath.
Binocular spray.
Think
I put
about
it in
it.
my fucking eyes and say I'm blind.
Fuck
Everyone tries to help me.
Yeah, then you grab their fucking tits, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, miss. Tit squeeze, right?
Double guns.
Double fucking nippled cocksucker.
Fucking double sucking cocksucker.
That's crass.
I'm sorry. The band?
What's that?
There's a band called
I never heard of them. Are they good?
They're not polite. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, I love Chip. I can do it all. You texted me like, I go, you better bring Chip. You're like, we're doing Chip the whole fucking time.
Although Uncle Paul is the most fun for me, believe it. Even though Chip is, because Uncle Paul is so revolting that I actually will listen to Uncle Paul bits on the radio and I'll like on YouTube and laugh because I don't connect it to myself at all. Like it really makes me laugh. It's such a barbaric, awful, dark place.
What, pedophile?
Yeah, but just the specificness of the comments and and it's funny, I've never been molested to my memory. I just think, like all these actors, Kevin Bacon played a very believable pedophile in The Woodsman, and so many guys.
Not a bad looking man, Mr. Guy. I'm in The Woodsman now.
But it's like if actors can play them seriously, I don't feel any guilt over making fun of one or.
Yeah, that people should know if they're going to get offended at Uncle Paul. You're mocking a pedophile.
I am, but I'm there's this thing with comedy. Well, you never punch down. Sure you do sometimes. You do whatever you want as a comic. Like, I'm mocking the whole thing of pedophilia. Because we convince ourselves, like if you do a rape joke, well, as long as you're not making fun of the victim. Any type of rape joke is somehow making fun of the victim. Even if the punchline's not directed at the victim. If you're mocking a rape in any way, shape, or form, even if it's the bad participant, it's still somehow hitting the victim because you're mocking the rape. So you don't. It's like to be real about it. I don't look at it like that. Like, I wouldn't go up and just ha ha, kid got molested because there's really no. I wouldn't think of anything funny to say there. But like hey, how many Catholic school jokes are? You know what I mean? Like you talk about the church or whatever. People mock the church, or like hey, this cute little altar boy, and that's technically mocking the priest, but it's mocking the whole thing.
But with the church stuff, like Bill Maher, I tuned out because it's like the lowest hanging fruit. Like altar boy, fucking pat him on the head, off you go. It's like really, like that's. I mean, to me, it's like fucking airline food joke.
It is, but there's no joy in a good tax exempt status joke. You know what I mean? There's no visceral reaction in fucking art and the Vatican humor. But there's something about that gets to people so much because it's such it's an Anthony Weiner scandal. It's a we got you motherfucker, and it's undeniable. Like it's very rare that you can get any organization that has been so one way for so long on such a blatant and flagrant offense. You know what I mean? Like very rarely, it's like getting Nixon at Watergate. Like with such you don't get guys doing that often. That's why I think the church and it's like the last pope. I had a hatred, a visceral hatred for Benedict. Hated him.
I don't think anybody really liked him. And see, here's the thing with me. I'm a converted Catholic. I converted to Catholicism, and I know everything that goes on and went on, and the cover-ups and all that. But my church is the best. And there's a sign over the door that says "All are welcome." Uncle Paul, there's a sign over the door that says "All are welcome."
Sure. You go on in there. You do a little worshiping. You just go in and go, "Hey, guess what I did? Sorry." Nobody says nothing. Yeah.
He stopped sniffing.
Yeah.
You cured his sniffles, Uncle Paul.
You need a ride home? You rub your leg.
Okay.
Yeah. Good boy. Rub your little leg, get little Boy Scout shorts.
What is he doing?
Yeah, he's fighting a hard on.
And who's the guy? I've never seen there's the third one. Opie said it's a one name guy. I've never
Shut up.
Edgar.
Shut up.
I've never seen Edgar, but apparently
there's really not much to Edgar. It's his touch that everybody
I was
hates.
gonna say apparently he has very creepy hands. Apparently.
Shut up. You're not a good person. Shut up. It's a fingernail.
Talk about fighting hard on.
It's a fingernail poke, and I got that again. I would do it to my ex, and she hated it so much. One time she bit my face because I was doing Edgar to her. She it was a gut reaction to Edgar. And that to me means, and Anthony, I love annoying while he's doing. That's mostly why I do him. It's because it's a real thing. Like Anthony's doing a live read, and he's just stop touching me, Edgar, and it just makes me so happy that we have this.
Jim, Edgar.
No, yeah, but it's this juvenile idiot fucking relationship, and it's just fun. It's like throwing it's like gassing in your hand and cupping it in your friends. It's that level of childishness. It's fun. Makes the radio show fun.
Yeah, it's always fun, the show, and I don't know how you guys do it. And anybody that wants to listen to Opie and Anthony, XM moved it around in Sirius. And
we don't know the channels, but you can find it, Sirius XM, whichever service you have, you can get it.
Or if you just Google search Opie and Anthony, sure. But for me, I'm doing sports. So every day, a cowboy wraps his car around a tree and takes out one of his fucking teammates. I'm up and running for the next 2 days. Sure. My job is based on people doing terrible things in their life, and I get to run with it. You're like, oh God, I hope somebody gets divorced or busted for steroids. That would be great. Busted for divorce, busted for drunk driving. Made me feel great. But with you guys and Opie and Anthony, you're just talking, and it's become the hang where other radio shows will have a guest in studio, and I guess the apples and oranges comparison would be Howard will have a guest in studio, and it's 20 minutes just light on that guest. Yeah. Let's get to the bottom of it. You got problems. Yeah. You got blah, 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 blah. And then they're on to something else, and then it's news in this. Right. But there's been days I've been on Opie and Anthony. It was me, you, Ron Bennington, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais. I've been in there with me, you, David Lee Roth, and Billy Connolly, and somebody. When I called once, and it was you, Jim Jeffries, Bill Burr, and the Iron Sheik. It is the weirdest
combinations.
And no one gets run. We're all done with. Obviously, people that are on a schedule. Sure. Hey, he's fifth runner-up from American Idol. Well, okay, you're all done here. Move it along. Yeah. Sell your records. But with the comics, it's been the best home, and what I always thought radio should be. And there's really no one that comes in. There's a definite energy to it. It is a hang. So when guys come in like waka waka, like they're on the road,
Does not work.
Doesn't work at all.
No, and I'm it is a really weird hang. It's like we all just walk in and we talk to each other on the air the same way we do off the air. I mean, it's a little bit more focused and higher energy because, of course, it's a performance of some sort. But it really is the way we speak to each other, and we fucking just kind of shit on each other. And it's like, I think doing sports radio is very hard though, because you have to. You have terrestrial parameters, language and content-wise, and obviously, the things that you can't do. With us, we can just say whatever we want. Again, there's very few things that we can say aside from legal issues of libel or slander. I forget which is the spoken one, slander, I think. And you can't just go on and say racially hateful things without any purpose, because the company would probably go like, "What the fuck you doing?" But we are allowed to express any and all opinions, and when we're allowed to use very, very honest language when we're covering stories about race or anything else, and it's a great, great fucking free. I forget how lucky I am sometimes until I see people that can't do that. And it's like, holy shit, we really do. I can say almost anything I want as a performer, whether it's on Twitter or on stage or on the radio show I'm on, and it's a very, very free place, which. I would love to be more famous than I am, but the fact that I'm in a decent place and have absolute freedom is worth it.
Do you ever get up at 5:35 and go, "Fuck, what the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, every day. Not why am I doing this? Every day I'm like, this sucks a cock. I hate it, but I love the gig so much. Like, 'cause I'm an insomniac and I have apnea, so I don't sleep at all. I go on like usually 2.5, 3 hours.
You look good for an insomniac.
Thank you. I never get.
And you are in shape.
I'm in better shape. I'm still working on it because I just got obsessed with the gym.
Wonder why? Fucking yoga pants on the bike in front of me.
Well, I said, what the fudge? If I'm going to be obsessed with something, why not the gym or maybe a Frank or a Pete? Whatever names you want to use.
You ever go spinning, Chip?
Fuck yeah. Put a little girl on my pecker spinner.
But that doesn't even make sense.
Not a child. Being a little small lady, you put her on your pecker and your spinner.
Oh, a spinner.
Yeah.
All right, you fuck.
Whatever. I don't do that with little ones,
No.
Yay.
Wow, Uncle Paul, you do? Are you admitting to an Uncle Paul?
It was always fun when I'd walk out of the rest area. My girlfriend would walk into the rest area, and I would just have to tell her, like, let's get in the car. We had a misunderstanding. I would just go through a story about how some fodder punched me. It was just fun. It's just fun.
Kevin Ryder from Kevin and Bean was here, and he gets...
Oh, I'm actually meeting guy who gets excited about a tie-in that he shouldn't. I'm actually seeing those guys for the first time Tuesday.
Jimmy was waving both hands like he's putting a whammy on somebody, not up in the air, like if you were trying to jinx a batter with your fingers extended, like, whoa!
And it's just such a who gives a shit tie-in. Like, I'm doing those guys that derail the story.
You mean middle act on the road?
Yeah.
He said he gets up every day, I think it was 4:59, 5:05, and he said he goes, I said, in 27 years of waking up at 5, he goes, I fucking hate it this morning. And I'm like, 27 years, you can't get on a schedule?
Never get used to it.
Why is that?
Well, especially doing stand-up, because I'm going out doing spots, and I can't sleep.
Fucking stripes or something.
Hey, I tried a few polka dots. It's kind of like spots, though.
I fucking love you, Chip. Chip's a good man.
That makes it hard. But I have another sleep study coming up, my third in fucking house sleeps. I mean, got to go to a place.
But doesn't that make you sleep less because you're laying in bed obsessing over what happened at the sleep study?
Part of it, yeah. But I mean, I need even when I fall asleep, I'm always like remembering waking up. I wake up gasping because I have what they call complex sleep apnea. It's a combination of central sleep apnea and obstructive, which means that like half the times my dumb tongue is falling over my fucking dumb throat. I'm going, and the other half of the time when my tongue is not doing that, my brain just doesn't send a breathe signal. Like all of a sudden, I'll wake up sometimes. I'll do this, and then not attempt to breathe. My
fucking dummy.
Yeah, my dumb brain is probably fucking going over Eros ads, wondering if certain girls are fully functional or not, and forgets to draw a breath. Fucking asshole I am, and I just can't breathe.
It's never 8 inches. It's always a disappointment when you get in there.
Well, it's a fucking lie.
You said 8 inches, fully functional. This is half-mast. I'm being generous. Let's just say it was a rudderless ship.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
So,
so yeah, I don't sleep at all.
so you have such sleep problems that you went into a sleep study.
I did one home one, and then two in a.
What does that entail?
A sleep study is when you go to the place, it's awful. And the home one, I knew I had apnea. I knew it. So the guy gave me a home sleep study. I'm an insomniac. I won't sleep. So you put this dumb thing like a miner's helmet on your head. It's fucking humiliating and awful. And it records data. You put like these little tubes under your nose. And it matches it kind of records your breathing pattern. Gives them a little bit of info.
But that's at your house you do this.
Yeah, but when you go in for a study, it takes them 20 minutes to hook you up with wires. You have probably 30 wires on your legs, your head. You have something on your chest, and they put a mask on you.
How can you sleep like that?
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. The first time I actually slept, I took like melatonin, and the second time, I've never taken it before or since I got a prescription for one pill for Ambien because I needed the results. I had to be asleep for the mask because they have to what they call titrate the mask, which is to match your breathing, and they have to know what opens you up and what helps you hit REM sleep. So the first time they did what they call a split study. We have to just test you with nothing to see if you have apnea. I'm like, I have apnea. And we have to test you. So they wake me up halfway through. They're like, yes, you have apnea. Now try a CPAP. So a CPAP is constant positive or continuous positive airway pressure, whatever, which blows air in and helps you breathe when your tongue blocks your dumb throat. So at the end of the night, they're like, well, the test was a little inconclusive.
I bet your tongue fucking failed the test.
Yeah, I said to my tongue, what, you didn't study or something? You know, like that.
Fucking double guns.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, double tongues. Sounds like guns even, Jay. So I fucking...
interchangeable.
Whatever, tongue guns.
Live and let live.
Fuck yeah, lick and let lick. That's what I say.
Fuck yeah, lick it.
Yeah, make your cooter so wet. It'll be like the Edmund Fitzgerald in it or something,
Fucking beaver in a week.
I don't like to say that word. My mother heard me saying that. She's
Which
like,
one?
Beaver.
Oh.
Chipper, that's vulgar.
Really?
What's that? Oh, that's me in the mask, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But
it's Anthony Hopkins.
That's,
Clarice.
But when you're all fucking...
Let me see it, you creeps.
Looked at it.
I thought you said I'm wearing a mask, Spider.
But when you're all...
You tweeted this?
Oh, yeah. I
Will you send this to me so I can tweet how weird the podcast got? And just
Yeah.
be like, wow.
So Bane has sleep apnea.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I reference that. Yeah, of course. It's fucking awful. It's awful.
And what was the conclusion? Did they make you go back to sleep?
Well, the second time I went back because the first one was inconclusive. So they tested me on other machines, and I need what they call, the CPAP didn't work, APAP didn't work, BiPAP, which is 2 different pressures, doesn't work. I told the fucking dumb cunt technician lady, I have complex apnea. I knew it was central. I knew what I had because I know that I wake up not snoring, but just not breathing. I knew I had a combination. So she wouldn't test me on what I call an ASV machine, which is a really, really sensitive advanced machine. So because they all blow air into your fucking face.
What, all the nurses?
No, yeah, they queef on you. They fucking wake up.
Wake up, stupid.
But when all the machines blow air down your throat to move you to keep it open so your tongue doesn't block it. But the central one is a very weird apnea, so you need a specific machine for it. And I told her, and she's like, no, you don't need that machine. It breathes for you. But that's what I need. So now I'm going back to another place, and they're going to test me on that. It's an abomination, dude.
So what is the let's say they find something out. Are they going to, they can't prescribe you a narcotic. What they'll
do is they'll give me what they call an ASV machine. They will give me, I'll get one. It's very expensive.
Fucking steal it.
Yeah, an ASVA. I say it out loud. The fucking guys crack up. And they'll give me an ASV machine, and the mask is the worst part.
Why?
Because they're fucking horrible.
Because you're sleeping in a mask.
You're sleeping in a mask. But there are these ones that were custom masks that you could have made, which I think the company closed. I was going to get a custom one made. I've had surgery. I've had fucking
What?
2 office procedures in my nose. I just went for another one. It's fucking.
You should get a mask and have it like painted like a beak. Just when you wake up, forget it's on. When you look in the mirror, just go, hey.
Yeah, or I'll just make people laugh. I'll just wear it all day, and I'll just people go, what are you doing? I'm like, huh? Pack. I'll just say that.
Have you seen my eggs, you fucking coda?
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, someone took my wings. Call the cops.
Clip them, you fuck.
Yeah.
Double tongues.
Yeah, double wings, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
So I didn't know you slept so little. Can you nap at all?
No, I'm a terrible nap. I do it better than I did a while ago because my nose is better than it was. I have my again, I had reconstructive surgery in the sinuses.
When was the surgery?
2008 I went. And it helped. It was and then I got what they call the things you have in your nose which regulate. You know when you get stuffy, you feel like you're swollen. They look like balls. They're things called turbinates in your fucking sinuses. They swell and they get smaller, and that fucking regulates the air going into your sinuses, into your lungs. So the guy I go to shrinks them with heat. He puts a needle in your nose and numbs them, and then he fucking zaps them with heat, and it shrinks them a little. He doesn't like to cut them and carve them because if you slice too much of them off, you can never put it back, and then you get that. Then you have too much air coming in, and it's bad. So he tries to do it piecemeal so you don't fuck your nose up.
It's like a dog when it's sticking his head out the window of the car. Your stupid gums flapping in the breeze because of all the air you're taking in.
Yeah.
But you're super happy. The dog sticking
No,
his
you
head
can't. He said it's like breathing through your mouth and your nose. You're like that's what it would feel like in your nose. He goes, it's horrible.
Have you done acupuncture?
No, acupuncture. It's fucking child's play. Want to have a fucking witch doctor stand over me? That's
Have
not
you
going
tried a witch doctor?
No, I would do anything right now. But acupuncture wouldn't help. It's not going to fix
How do you know?
Because it can't. I know what's wrong with me. It can't. I think I have a problem in my lungs, or it might just be in my head.
Whole bunch of good stuff was happening for me. You know, it was all these school shootings.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony was the fucking. That's going to be the entire podcast. You're just saying that sentence on a loop.
I feel like I can't draw a deep breath of air, and I first noticed
Right
it.
now?
No, now I'm okay.
All right.
But I feel like when I think about it, I can't take a full breath. And I noticed it on stage years ago. So it might be panic or stress or whatever. But it really is awful. I was suicidal for a long time about the breathing because I'm like, I can't sleep. And I was going to therapy once a week. And I was fucking... I can't tell you how bad I was. It was like I have to get a fucking pistol and just blow my brains out because you can't live like this. Anyone who doesn't sleep, it's like a fucking it's a nightmare every day.
My wife is a real bad insomnia. She'll go 3 days.
Yeah.
Like maybe an hour.
Yep.
And I'll go, did you sleep? And she goes, some. And that means I slept an hour from the time you went to bed at 8:30 to the time you came home from work, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the worst thing you can do to an insomniac is just even talk about sleep. Because it just piles up the anxiety about sleep.
Piles up the anxiety, and I'll be on a plane sometimes, and I'm on the red eye going home. I sleep on the day going. Funny story. I'll sleep during the day on a flight, but never at night. And I'm on the red eye going home, and I'm just looking around at all these people laying back with their hands crossed, and they're peacefully sleeping, and I'm like, what is that like? It's fucking horrible. I'm like, what is that like? What is that like? I can't do it, man.
Yeah, when I sleep on a plane, it don't look peaceful. It looks like somebody dropped me out of a building. I'm a fucking wreck. I mean, I was flying to Miami, and a guy got on the plane. I can't stay awake on a plane.
I wish I was. Barry Katz is like that. Voss is like that.
Voss.
You're in really prestigious company. You, Barry, and Voss.
Industry Standard, my new podcast, Industry Standard. Doug Herzog, president of Comedy Central. These are my guests. I'm going to do about a 40-minute intro where I basically read their Wikipedia page, and then we'll have an off-the-cuff conversation for 4 minutes. Doug, thanks for coming by. Good to be here. My man, it's just holy shit moments. You got to create a holy shit moment, and you have to be undeniable, Chip. You have to be undeniable.
How come your name's like Barry Dogs?
I don't even understand what that means, man.
Oh, your name is Cats.
Oh. Like a kitty cat?
Oh, yeah. Meow, cocksucker.
See, I don't think you need to work blue all the time. It
just comes out. I'm real aggressive.
Yeah. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
By getting some cooter.
Getting some cooter. That's,
This is going to be the most hated episode of your podcast.
It's not true. It's not true because Katz is like famous from this fucking podcast. When I get on an airplane in Miami, we're going to Miami, and a guy gets on the plane. We're in the last row of first class, and a guy gets,
I know, believe me.
We're men of taste. I saw your photos on the Twitter at Jim Norton and Norden Norton at Jim Norton.
A guy named Raghu, who I went to high school with, he was an Indian kid, really bright, used to say Jimmy Norton. And I'm like, there's no D and E in it. Roland says it like that from Opie and Anthony. Jim Norton.
With wearing which Jets t-shirt?
Whichever fucking triple XL he could get his little fucking Roland hands on. His little sweetie. You, shut up. Take it back. You're making fun.
A guy got on the plane with a transistor radio. Like, when was the last time you saw a transistor radio? It's been a decade,
It's
right?
been a while, yeah.
And he had a book, not joking, how to fly small aircraft under his arm. Like, it's something out of like Woody Allen Bananas, right? And I say to my wife, I go, what the fuck? I'll stab this fucking prick in the throat. Like, this is bad. And he was, from that part of the world. And I tell the pilot, and I tell the flight attendants, I go, yo, you got a guy with a transistor radio and, a book on how to fly planes, and I'm profiling, but that's what it is. Sure. The pilot comes out, puts his hand on my shoulder, and goes, look, I do a walkthrough of the cabin before every flight. This pilot said this to me, he goes, I don't fuck around.
Oh, right.
Okay? I'll let you know. So the guy goes through the plane, and I'm like, now I'm reading just like the New York Post or whatever, hanging out on the plane, and then as the pilot comes, he puts his hand on my shoulder, he goes, hey, just stay alert, okay? And I'm like, what the fuck? So the pilot goes, and I look at my wife, and I did a whole bit about it, like a long time ago, and a bit about like, they don't let guns in the plane, but I'll give somebody a tracheotomy with a goddamn pen. I'll stab him in the fucking throat the second he comes to. I'm saying to my wife, I'll fucking take this guy out so hard. I'll be a goddamn hero. I'll slit his throat ear to ear. It'll bleed all over me. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be a fucking hero. This guy, I'll know what it's like to kill a man under the only circumstances where that's allowed.
Totally acceptable.
Totally acceptable. To be great. I did with a pen like MacGyver. People are like, you see him working on his feet? All of a sudden, I just feel like, hon. I go, what? She goes, we're here. She goes, and I quote, wake up, hero. I slept for 6 hours. I'm the guy with his leg out in the middle of the
oh my God, that's
slept
amazing.
the entire time. I can't stay awake.
Anthony's like that too. Anthony Cumia can and Opie, I've seen Opie. I can't get over the ability of people to do that. I'm so
What else
jealous.
are you going to do on it?
Dude, I wish I could I'll tell you what else you're going to do. Lay there and hope it crashes just so you have something else to focus on besides the fact you're awake.
You take great photos of yourself on planes. My all-time favorite Jimmy Norton photo, it's Norton, you lummoxes that right now are going, I'm not getting it.
Yes.
Jim Norton. Is when you and Kenny were flying, I think, to Buffalo, and you had sweatpants on. It's you in first class in a sleeper seat. No, it couldn't have been Buffalo. It was a sleeper seat. I'm an idiot. And you just sit in a first class with a Cialis rod. Just you on a plane with just a monster fucking heart on. Like, there's no hiding it. It was like you're putting a tent up in your backyard, put the one pole in and went back in the house.
I always wear fucking sweats when I fly for comfort, and I piss so much that I don't need that riding my bladder like the jeans. And I always have to fly in the aisle seat, and so I wear sweats. So when I have a fucking nice 2-day Cialis rod, it's very obvious.
It's supposed to be 4 hours is the limit.
No. It stays in your system. No, it's not a hard on for 2 days. I mean, it's in your system for a couple
But what
days.
is it about sitting in first class that gives you an erection where you go...
Please, you just answered your own question.
You do a lot of dates. You catch Jimmy, and so it's jimnorton.com now. Did it launch?
No, but we're ready to go. I'm updating photos and stuff like that, but I'm pretty happy with it.
But how do people know where you're performing if they're not listening to...
I don't have any gigs set up because, again, I want to have it... I had
take some time to yourself.
You know what? Sometimes you got to smell the roses. I did Gathering of the Juggalos. It's the only gig I've done. I mean, and a couple of little one-offs here and there.
All right, I did get a tweet about you and Juggalos, and I will say this. I don't know much about Insane Clown Posse, but I do know this. That Insane Clown Posse theater show that you did, I believe it's on Fuse.
It's on Fuse.
I didn't see the one you were on. I just saw a random one. I was stunned at how fucking smart and funny those two guys were.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have not watched.
Stunned. hysterical.
Oh, cool, man. It's good to hear. I haven't watched any of my episode either.
But they also were in Jonathan Ronson's book, The Psychopath Test. Like he was their case study. His second book, Lost at Sea, and he just follows around like actual psychopaths.
Oh, really?
It's just a series of essays, and he just follows them around. They're like, no, we're born again Christians now. We just it was all a big joke. Like, listen to the lyrics. You can see we're all like working for Christ now. And like he was trying to figure this out, John Ronson. Do you know about this book?
I don't know.
So when you meet these guys, are they Shaggy 2 Dope, first of all?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This Tupac, Eminem, Shaggy 2 Dope. And then
Violent J.
Violent J.
Yeah.
Do you ever meet them without the makeup?
I did, yeah. I mean,
Really?
no, actually, I just did their gig Friday night in Caven Creek, Illinois. So Shaggy came to, they give you a little trailer. It's in the middle of nowhere. You're deep, deep, deep in the woods. And he came in the trailer with his fiance and the dog, and we talked for about 15, 20 minutes. And I saw Jay after, both their names, real names are Joe, after the
Don't ruin it for
the
me.
show. What's that?
Don't ruin it for
Joe
me.
and Joe.
Oh.
But yeah, they're normal guys. Like I texted with Joe because they wanted to come see me at the Comedy
They're
Cellar.
both named Joe, you idiot.
They are. No, but I mean, Violent. That's true. Violent J. Yeah.
They're both named Joe.
Very
I
nice
was texting the one Joe.
Yes, Big Joe, not Little Joe. They're really nice guys, man. And the gig was better than I thought it was going to be. I almost fucking brained myself before I went on. It was a trailer, and there's just a tent with a bunch of hay, and people are sitting on it. But there was like 700 people, and it was a full tent. And I tripped over a trailer hitch and went to grab some, the little carts they drive around concerts. And I grabbed the metal on one. I fucking smashed my hand. I thought I broke my hand like 10 seconds before I went on. I fell in the mud like a cunt. So the whole show, I'm like, fucking,
oh, my hand!
Yeah. I was like, yeah, and of course, are you all right? Thanks, Kenny. I'm fine. He rushes over.
Kenny at a Juggalos concert. I just made 6 arrests. It's muscle memory.
Yeah, he kept saying it wrong. Yeah, the old cop days.
Good to be here with the Juggalos.
No, that's not how he would say it.
Oh. And the crowd. So these are like big gatherings, right?
Oh, there's probably 6,000 or 7,000 people there.
Really?
Yeah.
For fucking Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, yeah.
I can't fucking I had to cancel Pabst Theater in Milwaukee because nobody gave a shit.
Well, they have a bunch of bands on their label.
Oh.
And I like those guys because they do shit themselves. Like, we had them on recently for a while, and they were like, we do everything. They think of an idea, and they have a team that works on it. And, they fucking move, man. And I respect that a lot.
So you have no dates coming up right now?
No, I'm going to book a bunch of shit, but I want to have at least a new 30 minutes before I go out. I have to have at least a new half, and which I probably have now. And I like to play around a little
and
bit.
The chip off, don't forget. That's
the
20.
chip off is a huge ending.
All right.
But I like to fucking I like to have new material when I go out. Like I did a lot of the shit from the special at the Juggalos show because it hasn't aired yet. And I had to watch the special again. I forgot almost everything in that fucking special.
Yeah, it's weird, and there's so much stuff that you don't. It's weird, like when you actually do a bit from a special and it destroys, and you go, "Oh, life was good." Now,
Yeah.
when I was doing, like when this was right before this got filmed, you got in a fight with Colin on Opie and Anthony, and you were at the cellar banging it out, and Colin goes,
Right, this is like everyman routine. Like you got to go back to the mill. Like you're assuming everyone on Earth has seen your fucking special. But you're so damn magnanimous. Like, let me get back to the grindstone. Get a new hour for everybody. I'd hate to see them repeat jokes.
Yeah, he's technically right.
But I know, but it just
It is a pompous ass thing of me to think that everybody.
But no, we all should think it because it's in your head. You're like when you do 5 shows at like what do you want me to say? Stand Up Live Phoenix, September 19th, where I am going to be.
Perfect example.
By Saturday, second show, and be like, I just fucking said this all weekend, and we can't get it through our heads. Hey, dummy, they ship 400 people out, and they bring 400 new people in, you lummox. Just do the same shit.
Yeah, and I was actually loving my act. And the reason I stopped doing it immediately after the special, I tried to. It was like, we're only an act, Chipper. Fuck yeah, back in frickin' frack.
Lay me on the floor, straighten out these fucking joke tiles.
Yeah, she would always say, Chipper, get out of there. You're in the shrubs again.
Why were you in the shrubs?
Just making sure nothing happened.
But something did happen. They helped your mom flatten the floor, right?
Yeah, they was fixing it. The floorboard was sticking up, and she fell or whatever. Lamar was helping her.
And what about Delroy? Did they ever help her at the same time?
A lot of times, yeah, he'd be like kneeling up by her head or something. Or she'd be laying in between him, and it'd all be fixed to the floor or something.
Well, so they work together. All right.
They would be helping.
It's my Anthony. All right. Did you go on lunch with that girl in Montreal?
Yes.
Nice?
Exactly what I knew it would be. She was very nice. But it was literally, I've had fucking sexier lunches with, and I can't think of anybody to name. With you. Yeah, but I was trying to think of a really awful person. It was
Joe DeRosa's match buddy.
Yeah, I've had sexier lunches with fucking Joe DeRosa's shoulders. No, it was just boring. It was just nice and non-sexual, and I knew it would be, but I had to do that so I would never think about it again.
Do you think Bobby and Joe look at each other and go, oh, if we could just somehow combine these bodies, we'd be a normal person?
Yeah, to one average person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about Bob, and I've told him that. You know, it's like we like teasing him and stuff. We all tease our shit on our friends for whatever their current malady is. But, you know, I'm sure Swayze had at least one friend that went,
Yeah, what do you ask Patrick's pancreas?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's got all the answers. Hey, you haven't seen Ghost in a while, have you?
Yeah.
I bought you some clay. Fucking Patrick Swayze, that poor son of a bitch.
But, you know, your friends shit on you no matter what it is. But, you know, Bobby, I want to see Bobby take care of himself because he has a new baby now.
But, like, what is he doing that's not? Is he just eating all the time? And
yeah, he's caught in the addiction like I am with sex, and like we all have been with, like I have been with food too, but for me, it's never just gotten that bad. Like, but I understand that mania. Like when I'm on a binge, like I go on these mini binges, but I've been very lucky. Like, and I have never gone down the gambling road or the food road the way people do. For me, the sex road has been an abomination. So I you know, it's but Bobby is like, you know, Bobby can just get back on a thing. Once if he starts hitting the gym and fucking, and then gets into a good pattern, he can lose the weight because he's done it before.
Talking about Bobby De Niro.
Yes,
in case you guys
exactly.
are wondering
It's really good.
I'll knock the weight right off.
Yeah, I talked to him
Right
about Raging Bull. I'm like, you did good, but now it's time for King of Comedy.
4 pounds. Write it off.
A little slip of ice, just slip of ice for my tongue.
4 pounds.
No water.
Keep working.
Yeah, keep working.
A
Right.
little taste from my tongue.
Yeah.
That little fucking crazy old man. Jimmy Norton, I'm stunned that your output is what it is, and it's great. And I believe it was you that told. Did you have the conversation with Carlin? Ask him, how do you write an hour every year?
Where he said a minute a week. I don't know if I've had that with him or if I just heard about that. I honestly don't remember.
Well, I heard you say it. So
maybe somebody related to me.
And whoever related to you, I heard you say it on Opie and Anthony, the best damn radio show in the world, my favorite. And then Ron and Fez after that. It's a good channel. The Opie and Anthony channel now.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than when I rent a car and it's like fucking best of the week, Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, they get some.
Like, I
never listen. You know, it's funny. It's really weird. I can't watch things I've done unless it's for editing purposes. Like if I'm ever on TV, people are like Monster Round, or if I'm on Leno, I never watch ever. I just fucking creeps me out.
I watch it a lot to see mistakes I make, what I could do better.
Yeah, I'm afraid I would see nothing but that though. Like I don't like. You're a good actor, and like you could watch a good performance and go, okay, that little thing I could have done better. That, you know, for me, I would watch the whole thing and go, oh, you fucking suck, you cunt.
How do you feel about Spider-Man?
Yeah, obviously, I was the fucking linchpin of that film, but I mean, how many times does that happen?
I want to hear the line.
Oh. Guys, say it again.
How do you feel about Spider-Man?
He stinks and I don't like him.
That's not how
I know, but that's the way it is when guys just can't do their line anymore. They overdo it. They do it wrong.
American Degenerate, August 23rd, my birthday. It's on Epix.
And EpixHD.com. If you don't have Epix, get a free trial and you can watch the special whenever you want.
Really? Because I don't think I have Epix.
Yeah, some of they're working on getting on all the providers, but if you don't have it, you can get it. EpixHD.com is an amazing site too.
So if I go to EpixHD.com, they can put Epix onto my current package. Is it compatible with...
Oh, I don't know, but you can get a trial online and fucking watch the special.
Oh, okay.
And then keep it or not. They're really good with that. They're not dicks about it. And
well, if I got a special coming up, then I'm going to fucking totally call these guys and look into it.
They're really good, dude, honestly.
You want to do a special online with Epix? You know how many inroads I made with Showtime and Rick Mel Productions? You're killing me, man. I'll tell them. Jimmy, I have a gig for you. Are you sitting down? You're not going to play along with me?
Oh, so yeah. I've just never heard that from him.
Your name's not Dane.
Yeah.
I have a gig for you, man. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to China?
No.
They want to do comedy on the Great Wall of China. CNN's going to cover it. You're going to be a guest of the Chinese government.
and it pays $500,000 American. You're there for 2 weeks. You stay at the American consulate. It's going to make international news, and when you come home, you get to talk about it at the United Nations. And they chose you.
Really?
Out of thousands of comics, they saw your special on Epix and epixhd.com, and they said, this guy's fucking undeniable. I mean, they said it in Chinese, but I get choked up about it. I can't believe this is happening for you, man.
It's great.
$500,000. I'm not taking a commission. I get a production fee. Are you in?
Oh, yeah, I'm in, definitely.
Can you fly a Learjet?
No.
You can't fly a Learjet.
No.
Have you ever been behind the controls of an airplane at all?
No, I have not.
You've never flown an aircraft?
No.
Not even when you were a little boy?
No.
Oh, I'll tell him. What the fuck? Unbelievable, man. They went with Godfrey. The perfect answer to anything. They went with Godfrey. All right, so Jimmy's not performing anywhere, but you can hear him all the time on... most of you guys listening to this are listening to this because you love Little Jimmy.
Hopefully.
From the Opie and Anthony Show. And did you ever go into contract negotiation and go, yo, what's up with Opie and Anthony with Jim Norton?
No, Opie and Anthony have mentioned that to me. They're like, the only reason we haven't changed the name is because of the branding. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to tell me that. I don't want you to change the name. Because it's the Opie and Anthony Show was there before I got there. And I get...
And it'll be there long after you leave, buddy boy.
Believe me, I learned my lesson when I heard what happened to Jackie when he left. I learned a lot from that, actually, from Jackie leaving. The Stern Show continued. And Artie left. And I learned from watching, especially Jackie, though, because he walked out as opposed to having, like, a meltdown. No, I don't want them to change the name. And those guys, dude, they include me in everything they do. Like, they've been so fucking good to me. Like, I don't... The brand is the brand, so I don't need my name on it. Like, they promote everything I do. Yeah, they pay me fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
How come they stopped doing the virus tours? It just got out of control?
Yeah, I mean, it was just too much to put together, and we lost terrestrial radio, and that was a big part of those draws. I was glad we lost terrestrial radio. I hated that fucking gig so much.
Why?
Hated it. They wanted to fire me. K-Rock wanted to fire me.
They should die.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Oh, you should only get cancer. Yeah,
Jerry, talk to my son.
Why do they want to fire you?
Because those fucking cunts... We were doing terrestrial and we were doing satellite. We would go into terrestrial. Everything we did was broadcast on XM at the time. 5-hour show from 6 to 11. 6 to 9 was on terrestrial and XM. It was double duty. So we had to be clean for the first 3 hours, which the XM people hated. We were competing against ourselves. So we were doing okay in the ratings. And management brought in a consultant, and they thought that the problem was that I was on the radio and I had changed the tone of the show. So they're like, we don't want Jim on the show. Meanwhile, these fucking cocksuckers, these fucking terrestrial radio fucking cunts, never once thought, maybe it's the fact that we're dumping out of ethnic references. Maybe it's the fact that if you do an Asian voice, we dump it. They literally, if you went, okay, dump, you couldn't say that. We couldn't do bits anymore.
That sounded like Little Nicky.
Yeah, I know, I meant to. Sandler complained. No, but that's how fucking bad they were. You couldn't do it. We couldn't do the homeless shopping spree. We couldn't do any of the shit, the bits we would do. We couldn't do. But they didn't blame themselves at all. They blamed me. And then we had that problem where Homeless Charlie was on XM and we almost got fired. And then the problem went away. I shot Monster Rain and I was back to 5 days a week.
The thing with Opie and Anthony is every time they've almost lost their lives professionally, they didn't do anything. Something happened across town.
Something else, yep.
Like somebody did the thing in St. Patrick's Cathedral, like, they weren't, the contest was Sex for Sam, have sex in the weirdest place and call us. So somebody calls from there and they get canned. It wasn't like a slip of the tongue.
Right.
And like a homeless guy comes in studio and says he wants to, sexually assault Condoleezza Rice.
He wanted to rate, who is that Bush bitch? And he said all this shit. And he was a funny guy. His name was Charlie, and he was one of those guys. We were watching this guy like just talk, and he was being brutal about everything, so none of it was real. He was smiling and laughing, and Bill Burr was in, and he was like, and the motherfucking Jews. But you could see he wasn't truly being a hateful guy. He was a funny fucking dude. And I don't put a Pryor-esque quality on many people, but he had something about his cadence and his mannerism and the freedom in which he spoke that reminded me of Pryor. I mean, he was a funny fucking dude, man, and just
you
a
should have
homeless
suspended
guy.
him.
Yeah,
you're suspended from being homeless, hotshot. You want to run your mouth like that? Get yourself a nice hotel
go
room.
live in there for a little while, then see.
Yeah. Live in there, get yourself a shower, shave, get him a nice sandwich from Langer's Deli, the fucking son of a bitch. You don't get us kicked off the fucking radio.
Yeah, and he'd be like that fucking bum from Beverly Hills Nick Nolte movie or whatever.
Yeah, Beverly Hills bum Nick Nolte movie.
We're going to edit this later with the movie title. And we got kicked off XM for a month because the merger was happening, and they were going to fire us. Hugh Pinero, they was absolutely wanted to fire us. But they didn't. And this is the fucking ironic thing about hating K-Rock and terrestrial. We were off XM for a month, and we were only on K-Rock and terrestrial. So we had a 3-hour show for a month from 6 to 9 every day that only aired on regular radio. Had we gotten fired from that, our careers would have been over. But because they kept us...
Does it come to a vote? Like how does it come to the point where they decide to keep everybody?
Because Eric Logan fought for us a lot. And the guy, Nate, who was running XM at the time, did not. He was going to fire us.
Here's the thing. When you're firing somebody, like this is said about like coaches in the NFL and stuff, like before you fire somebody, you got to have a pretty tight thing ready, locked, loaded, ready to go. Like you can't just fire people and go, Kurt Menefee from Fox, test show, go. Like it's like when you replace a coach, you got to have a guy waiting in the wings and a system and like a whole thing. So like, who do you think they would have replaced you guys with?
For a while, they wouldn't have cared because to them, when it's a crisis situation, they care about stopping the bleeding. What
was the crisis?
Well, what they saw was we wound up on Breitbart and we were getting bad press about it, and they were worried about the press because of the merger. There was a story that showed up on Breitbart. Will this affect the merger between Sirius XM? Of course it wouldn't, but has it gone too far? And then I heard it was somebody in the terrestrial radio, like it was them behind the scenes pushing the story because they saw satellite as a threat. So they were just trying to throw some fucking mud on the whole merger thing. They didn't want the merger. They were fighting the merger. So it was a whole fucking mess, and our name was lumped in the middle. But whatever, we didn't.
Adam
get fired.
Carolla sat right here, and he said to me when I started my radio show, I've been very lucky on my radio show. All you can ask for as a comic, and you know this, is autonomy. Just leave me alone.
Absolutely.
I respect the language. I don't want to make fun of races.
Right.
I don't want to make fun of mental illness.
Right.
I know I got to get out at 12 after at the top of every hour. I get it.
Yep, the rules.
And Adam Carolla, but other than that, they just leave me alone. And Adam Carolla goes, squinting and holding his head like this. He goes, TV people, they're full of shit and they know it. And the whole game is they got to light fucking forest fires and smoke screens. So you're not on to how fucking full of shit they are. Radio people are full of shit. They have no idea they're full of shit. Yeah. They actually think they're doing God's work, like those fucking Trekkie people.
Yeah.
And I was like,
right.
Whoa, I can't wait to start my new job. But it turned out okay.
The thing that gets you in trouble, though, is the thing you never see coming. Like, nobody's going to go on the air and talk about Jeremy Lin and use angry, racist Asian statements. Like most people are too smart for that. But what's going to get you is the making fun of the guy with the Lou Gehrig's disease. That those guys down south.
Well, that was pretty fireable.
But I'm saying
they planned it and wrote it out and went, I think we should have him call in. I won't live past Friday.
There was one rough line in it, but it was like to me, it was like you could fucking yell at them or make them apologize, but just canning them. But I'm saying that's one you don't see coming. Well, no one's been talking about ALS as far as getting fired for, or it's this other thing you make fun of, like you're the groundbreaker. And these are not all things; they're all content issues as far as like good taste and bad taste. They're not FCC violations, and
well, nappy headed hose. To me, is the high watermark for fucking bullshit.
Sickening, fake outrage. And the problem with Imus was, and I love Imus, was that he handled it.
I love Imus.
Every time you're on it more than he is. Every time I fucking look up, you're on his show. It was that he handled it politely. He went on Sharpton's show, and when Sharpton brought his dumb fucking daughter in, is she a nappy-headed hoe? Imus should have said, let me look on her iPod and see what artist she listens to. Wow, that's offensive to her. She doesn't even listen to my show. Let's look through her iPod and see what she listens to. And he was apologizing to that fucking cocksucker Sharpton. When really the only way to deal with these nonsense special interest groups is to attack them in the tone they deserve to be attacked in, because they're frauds. Their outrage is 90%
The
fraudulent.
Catholic League is a guy.
Yeah, it's Bill Donahue.
One guy.
Although I didn't hate Bill Donahue. Louis was weird with us. He was weird. He's like, why are you guys talking to him on the radio? I'm like, because he didn't fire us. The fucking cocksuckers at NEW fired us. That was fucking CBS. That wasn't. He can't fire you. Like Sharpton doesn't fire people. Sharpton and Jackson did not fire Imus. It was those dumb motherfuckers, once again, at CBS or Viacom, where they panic and fire you. It's a bunch of fucking frightened white people.
You know Don Imus, and I
met him a couple times.
He doesn't even he doesn't think about black people.
Yeah,
at all.
Especially not in an angry, shitty way.
And he certainly never heard nappy-headed hose from a white person in his life.
No,
ever.
The joke of that was the same. You know what the joke was. It's the same thing as when they show an old lady hip hop dancing. It is to watch or hear somebody do something that is so out of their realm of normal behavior. That's all. He was saying nappy-headed hose in the same way a black guy would go, I don't think that's a particularly good answer. Like when mocking, it's no fucking white guy says that when he's being racist. For real. Yeah. No white guy has ever said nappy-headed hose unless he was doing anything but parroting a funny thing he heard a black guy say. There's zero racial hatred in it. And everybody knew that, but he was panicking because he knew he was under fire for real. And then that one fucking jerk-off from the NAACP that worked high up at CBS. I think it was CBS, but I think MSNBC fired him first. And I heard they did that to really hurt CBS. NBC fired him to hurt CBS, which I thought was a brilliant tactical move if that's why they did it. And Keith Olbermann, that cunt, I blasted him in my book. That fake fucking tough talker goes on and he's fucking groveling when Jesse Jackson's on, and he's like, and I put it to our bosses behind the scenes, and he didn't even talk about it on his radio show. He waited till they fired Imus, then he went after him. It's like, oh, you fucking phony pit bull. You fucking fake outrage pit bull. Ugh.
Why is
God did I? Because he was on the same.
It's like talking to George Carlin. Just that whole run was.
But
Carlin.
It made me sick.
You fake.
He was a fake, and he was on. He was on MSNBC with Imus, and he was probably jealous that Imus was a bigger name than him. But again, I think he's always been a fucking inconsistent twat, and I'm glad that everybody hates him now.
Olbermann?
Yeah, I hate him. But I don't respect him. I think he's actually a smart guy, and he might be a great broadcaster. I'm not saying he stinks.
I really like watching him.
I'm not saying he stinks. I just find his opinions to be so inconsistent, and I have absolutely zero respect for his credibility as far as being a guy who will stand up for something.
Who were your biggest supporters when you guys were about to get run off the air because of Sex for Sam and for Sex for Sam predates you, doesn't it?
No, I was in the studio when that happened. I had already been arrested with Louis Black, which is the only reason I was not out on site doing it with somewhere. I'm like, I'm never doing anything outside the studio.
You guys got arrested
again.
because they had a nude bus going around Manhattan, the voyeur bus.
Who was supporting us?
You would think the guy driving the voyeur bus would have went through the law book with a fine-tooth comb to go, don't worry, we won't get arrested.
Yeah, I know.
Got one block.
Yeah. No, we got all that fucking, literal, Jim. But I mean, we went pretty far. Got arrested on 6th Avenue.
It was like 6 fucking blocks.
Yeah, maybe 3. We'll split the difference, cocksucker. So who was supporting us? I don't remember, really. Nobody.
Nobody?
I mean, the comedians are friends, but nobody. The advertisers were pulling out. And everybody acts like it's the Selma bus boycott when an advertiser threatens. But when you stand up and go, we're not doing anything, the advertisers don't leave because in this 24-hour news cycle, something else always happens. Like after Imus, the Virginia Tech massacre happened a couple weeks later. Now, you don't look at that as a good thing. Of course not. But the reality is that something that is genuine or real news will happen, which takes the heat off the garbage, dog shit, special interest nonsense that they're focusing on at the moment. But that's where my loathing of the media comes from. It's because they're the ones who push this shit. They're the ones that keep showing it. They're the ones who deliver it with outrage. And right, like Matt Lauer, that fucking cunt, the way he went after Paula Deen, that fucking phony.
I feel bad for Paula Deen.
I do too, because who cares what she said? She's not important to me.
She didn't say to an employee. The lawsuit was that she said it to an employee, and that she was sexually harassed, not sexually and racially.
Yeah, a fucking hostile work environment. Yeah.
And then it came out like the old, because look, when Mark Furman went through all this shit, and he got caught in the lie about whether or not he ever said the N-word, and you and I can't even say it on a fucking podcast. We'll have to take it out. That's how crazy this fucking world is.
I say it on the O&A show when we're discussing it, not angrily and not but I mean we use it because I feel it's. I just hate not using it, but I'm not trying to be a hipster white guy who can get away with it.
I ain't saying it though, because I got a nice,
dude,
I have a nice corporate teat in my mouth.
But I understand that, and I don't think there's I don't like Tracy said he was sorry when he said that shit, and Tosh said he was sorry, and I don't fault those guys, and I really mean that because there's a lot of money at stake.
Corolla didn't apologize, and he realized they couldn't touch him because he's a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, and Corolla I admire for not doing it, but I don't admire. I have no ill will or to the guys who did because they're genuine comedians. I understand, man. And if you want to take $25 million from me,
if 30 Rock says you're fucking apologizing, you're apologizing.
Absolutely.
So Paula Deen, the whole case is that it was a hostile work environment. She didn't say it to any employee.
No, of course not.
During a testimony, which I don't think you and I are supposed to be privy to, by the way.
Right.
She said it 30 years ago when she was in a bank and was robbed, and a guy held a gun to her head, and she used it describing that one guy. Now, you and I can agree on this. When Mark Furman got caught in a lie, whether or not he ever said it, the N-word, at the time you go, why would you even lie about it? Just say, of course I said it, and move on. And Paula Deen just answered honestly and said, of course I said it. Career over.
Well, that's why, and I've been on this
pie, y'all. Y'all want some pie?
Yeah, exactly. Take some butter and rub it in your cunt, lonely. But I love the fact,
I heard they love hot sauce.
Yeah, anything with grape soda.
Just love it. Shiny. Anything flashy, y'all. Come back.
We deserve every shit politician we get. We deserve every liar because we train people to lie because we punish you for the truth. It's like we say to be honest, just tell the truth, and you tell the truth and you're a dead man. So it makes me hate the public. It hates special interest groups.
What do you like?
People that are just truthful about it. I like comics usually, and people that just speak honestly. You don't have to be be mean or. I'm not a racist at all. Really, and I don't feel the need to always qualify that by saying, and the N-word. The word is nigger, and if you say it in front of black people because you want to be the hip white guy who gets away with it, you probably deserve to get punched. Yeah. But there is something called a social, if you say that to black guys, you're going to get your teeth knocked out. The only time I say it is if we're discussing the case and we're quoting something, I despise not saying it because it feels so fucking, this is not about black people. It's about a bunch of fucking guilty, superiority complex white people who are afraid that blacks are going to see through them. That's who pushes all this shit. It's a bunch of white people that have zero black friends, and they've never sat across the fucking table with Keith Robinson and Patrice O'Neill for 4 hours.
Who call you the N-word?
Well, no.
I mean, yes, they do. Keith, Patrice would do it all the time. That's how I knew, Patrice is such a poker face. It's 2 years before you realize whether or not he likes you.
Right, yeah.
And then when he goes, this, he told me.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. I'm up and running.
But when you have friends like that who there's zero hiding from, they know you inside and out and you know them. And those are perceptive guys. Those are guys that really know how to get into your psyche. The same way all comedians do. We root each other out.
You read a room, 1,200 people in a theater, 400 in a club, one-on-one. You don't stand a chance against a comedian.
Yeah, arguing. But I'm saying if you're a fraud, right? You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're arguing race with those guys. We would always argue it, whether it was the fucking Amadou Diallo shooting or
Nick
this or that.
Apollo arguing with Keith Robinson. It's crazy. A and Z.
But you know each other.
A and Z.
Yeah, as opposed to A and B.
B and Y.
All right. I see a pattern, C and D, cocksucker.
Chip loved the fucking letter joke about the T-shirt later.
Yeah. But you have no. I have no fear of exposure, so I'm comfortable talking honestly. I have no fear that I'm going to say something that a black guy will see as revealing. I'm not it's like I'm not anyone that won't talk about. Yeah, black people annoy me sometimes because black people say it about white. Black people are much more honest about race because they have no fear of being exposed. They're not afraid of being unearthed as a racist.
Like Charles Barkley can say on prime time, "See, this is why I hate white people. This is why I hate them."
And he should say that because he's telling the truth. And you know who doesn't call him out on it? White people who are afraid of being seen as racist or racially inappropriate or not get. It's all white people's fucking dishonesty. It makes me sick.
Don't you think too, like when people are talking about race, and there's that old. There's no good way to say I'm not a racist because, like, as soon as you put the because up, whatever comes after it. People will just vilify, like, well, I have like 3 friends, good friends that are black. And they're like, whoa, that mean, like, I never said that, like, on daytime talk shows. Like, well, I'm not a racist. Actually, my best friend is black. And the audience goes, whoa, that's the craziest shit we ever heard. I'm like, no, he just said his best friend was black, so I don't understand what that is. But I always say, we're comics. We're incapable of racism because us and our peers, white, black, or indifferent, we're all doing we are complete equals. We're like rangers in a foxhole.
We're incapable of racism unless we're on the road and the middle is getting almost a standing ovation.
That's all I get to do? White rabbis on crack and zebra with a booty ranch? You give me the light?
It's been an obsession of mine because we're in radio and there's so many landmines to avoid. And
not for you.
No, but for us too. Sure there is. If we did truly racist stuff like angry, we would get fired. Man, we're not above that. And we don't think we're above it. But we are allowed to talk about it very honestly, and we are allowed to give opinions that are very real, and that's comfortable and nice to do. But I've grown to hate fucking people's dishonesty about it. It makes me crazy because it affects it. If it didn't, like, I do something, I'm not going to do the bit, but I do a bit in my act.
I was going to say, you should have a whole chunk about this.
I did it in American Degenerate, and it's about the press.
August 23rd, American Degenerate, Epix. Do it, you clowns.
And showing photos of the school shooters and how that they're the ones who owe an apology to the American public, and they'll never give it. And they've never once called each other out on it. Like, they're always the ones showcasing Tracy Morgan or Tosh and showing the clip. But you don't hear them. You don't hear MSNBC attacking CNN for showing Daniel Lanza's photo, even though FBI profilers have told them this will cause more Like, they know it and they don't care. Like, they're such fucking pigs. The press.
How about Rolling Stone putting the Boston Bomber on?
Mixed feelings
that kid
about
looks way too much like the lead singer of the Strokes.
Yeah, he's got a DeRosa hairdo, which is also enraging.
Didn't he date Drew Barrymore? This kid, he looks.
I don't. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't give a fuck about Rolling Stone because they never.